Hi, welcome back to my channel, Uniquely Reagan Handcrafted Cards. Today I'm going to show you a card that I'm making with the Stamps of Life Toolbox Folded Die Set. This is a card base that is in the shape of a toolbox. I've got those Tool Dad dies that have all the tools that will fit inside the toolbox. I'm going to use those. I'm also going to probably use some of the stamps from the Terrific Tools, which is the coordinating stamp set for that die set. I'm going to use some of those. I have already cut out my card base using that folded die. And when you're using the biggest die in the set, you can just make sure to place the cut above, either on the side or the top, and it says place fold here, so it's very easy to use, and that's how you create your shaped card die or your card base using that shaped card die. And you cut a second one using a straight piece of paper, no fold, and that you will cover up that fold on the card just like that. So let me glue that together. This is a great little set for any dad or any person in your life who uses a lot of tools. We're going to stay away from that fold, so I'm not going to cover this part with glue. I want to stay away from that because there's no piece up there. So we're just going to line that up with the bottom of the card here and just line it up like this and make sure that gets all adhered. And you can see that I don't have any excess glue at the top there. So I'm getting that all adhered and stuck very well. All right. Now I have the detail piece for the toolbox, and I have some, I want to take my Distress Walnut Stain, or you can use any brown ink that you have, and I just want to go around the edges of my toolbox to give it a little bit of definition. I'm also going to use that on that detail matte piece that I cut from the stamp, or the die set, I mean. So it doesn't take but just a moment to go around the edges of that, and it just gives a little bit of definition and creates some highlights on those dark colors. It works even on the brown cardstock. Just go around the edges. Be careful, this top piece is very delicate. Just hold on to it there. I've got the inside there. And just highlight the edge there easily. Go around the edges here. All right. And these fold up a little bit. Let me get these here. Okay. So we're done with that. Okay, so let me glue this onto the toolbox card base. And I want to stay also away from the edge here of the toolbox. I'm going to be tucking some of the tools that I cut from that second die set. I want to tuck some of those into the top of the toolbox. So I want to leave that part of the toolbox open. So I'm just going to go around the outside and the edges and just stay away from that inner piece here. And using that Distress ink just gives it a little bit of definition. Looks like it's been used, it's got some wear and tear on it. Now, out of my tools, I've cut it in, we're going to do some paper piecing here. Now, on this piece, I'm going to, out of the handle, I cut it in yellow, and I'm going to cut the edge of the saw blade off. And I want to glue, let me get that a little straighter. Okay, I want to glue, I hide this piece of the saw blade. I only want this showing, so I'm going to glue my handle to it. But when I used a bunch of scraps to cut my pieces here that I'm paper piecing together. So I was just very strategic in the way that I cut out my pieces, and so that I would ensure that I had some place to glue the pieces to. So on the back side, you can see that I have those connected, so it's going to be very sturdy. And when I tuck it inside, you're never going to see any of that anyhow, but it just creates some sturdiness there. We're going to do the same thing with the screwdriver. I'm going to cut off the piece that's going to look like silver, and we just want the black handle. So I'm cutting the screw part off, and we're left with the handle alone. And I have the top piece of that, but on this one, I'm going to use this part to place my glue. And then I'm going to glue my handle to it. Paper piecing my handle right onto it. So just get that even, hold it together for a second. This glue is art glitter glue. It's going to dry clear. So there you go. You can see the back side and the front side is flush with that handle. There we go. So let that dry for a second. Now on the tape measure, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut away the part of the tape that's sticking out and just go flush to the bottom of the tape, just to the casing of the tape measure box here. And then I cut that same piece out of silver so that the tape measure is sticking out. And I'm going to glue the tape measure casing to the tape itself, just like that. So it looks like that tape is coming out of that casing, that box. You can see on the back side what that looks like, but it does look like it's coming out of it because it's behind. Now I ran it through a second time to get that piece of detail in black, but it's really about a 1/8 by 1/4 of an inch here. And you could, for the other cards that I made, I actually just cut it. It was a lot easier to just cut it and create some little score lines. Let me show you. Right here, this I just cut by hand. And I don't know if you can see, there's a couple of score lines. I just did that with my embossing score tool that I had got from Dollar Tree. And I did that by hand. So I have that piece right here. This is what I had cut from the die. And you can do that by hand. Like I said, it's 1/8 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch. Is that what that piece is there? So I'm going to put a couple of glue dots right here with my art glitter glue. Whoops. And I'm going to use my jewel pickup tool and place that down. And going to push it into position. Oops. And set that to side. And we have one more tool to put together. And on the hammer, what you can do is you can put it behind. You could cut off the top of the hammer and just leave the handle and glue it like I did the others. But actually what I did is I just trimmed, there's a couple of score lines here, and I just trimmed to that the second one away from the bottom of the hammer itself. And I'm going to leave on the hammer and the base, I'm going to leave this all connected, and I'm going to glue my hammer top to the handle, just like this. That's what I'm going to do on this one. If you ever wonder, well, how does that look? How does that go together? Go out to your toolbox in your garage, or if you have a toolbox in your house, go look at it and see how the tools are put together. And usually hammers are the silver part, and there's kind of a clamp or a screw that goes through it at the top. So you do see that silver part. On the screwdriver, it is kind of inset into the handle. So this is kind of accurate, but take creative license with what you're doing. So on the creating the toolbox here, we're going to go ahead and glue everything together. Like I said, I left the top of the box open so that we could tuck some pieces behind. I'm going to push that in there. Going to get the hammer stuck in there. If you know somebody in your life who has a pink or purple toolbox, create one out of those colors. Make it for them. So glue this tape measure in. As long as everything's kind of contained within this area of the toolbox and not hanging over, it's going to fit in your A2 envelope. I also, inside the die, it has a drop-in word phrase that says toolbox, and you can see how that fits on the base here. I cut out the rectangle that came with the die set, and also the rectangle and the drop-in creates this word, and it fits directly onto that rectangle. I did use the Stamps of Life's adhesive sheet so that this became a sticker. So let me take that adhesive backer off. There we go. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue just to make sure that everything stays in place. This is not necessary. You don't need to do this. Just burnish very well and it should stay in place. I'm selling these at a local craft fair, so I just want to make doubly sure that it is not going to go anywhere, and when somebody purchases it and gives it as a gift, everything's going to stay together when they get it home. So that's why I'm taking a little bit extra care. Now, this die has a rectangle here that's kind of embossed, if you can see that there. So I know exactly where this should go. Again, if you want to take creative license and move things around, you're welcome to do that. I have a couple of extra screwdrivers that I cut. I'm going to put another one over here on this side. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my stamp set. I have some extra bit of this cream color that is there. I think I'm going to, let's see. Get my Misty out. This is a very large stamp. I'm going to probably want to stamp this a couple of times. So let me put this in my Misty here. So I'm going to get some Memento ink, some black here, and stamp this a couple of times. Using this Misty is going to allow me to get a very nice crisp image. One more time might do it. think the stamp is supposed to look kind of a little bit rough with all those little spots in there. So I could see while I was stamping up that it wasn't stamping in those areas. So I think that's pretty good. And then let's see. It's a great one on the first try. So what I think I'm going to do with these two is I'm going to glue them together. They are the same size. So I'm going to glue them together and kind of let's see here. Think about what I'm going to do. Let me glue these together. A little bit of glue. So I have these glued together and I used my crocodile punch, the smallest hole here, to just punch a hole, and I have a bit of twine that I've looped through here, and my card base is not adhered all the way up to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this over the card topper and then loop that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that down a little bit further so that sticks in there very well and won't come up. Glue that down and pinch that together so it will hold. Just pinch that together for a minute. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this off. So it says Dad, and then if you turn it over, it says you're a cut above, and that will stick out, but when you put it in the card, it will tuck back in. So it's like a little gift tag. There you go. Very cute. So let me finish this real quick too. I have some little brad looking enamel dots from the Stamps of Life. And so I'm going to just add those to embellish the toolbox just a little bit more here. Let me get... like that there. And I'm going to use some bigger ones on these spots here. So they look like brads. There we go. Now, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and finish I had made a couple other cards. I'm going to finish those up here. And I think I'm going to embellish them in a few different ways. I might recreate this tag looking thing here. I thought that was pretty cool. And I might do a couple other things. So I'll get back with you in just a moment. So I finished the rest of my cards here, and what I did was I continued with that theme of the tag, and I used the stamp set from the Terrific Tools, and I used most of the stamps that came in here. You rule, you're a cut above, you're the best. I also used stamps for guys, both Happy Father's Day, and I added Grandpa to one of these, you're the best Grandpa. And it says Happy Father's Day stamped on the toolbox itself. And this one is the same. This one just says you rule. So if it doesn't go for Father's Day, it could actually be just a guy's card as a congratulations, thank you card, or any other kind of general just because sentiment. This one is the one that I did on camera with you. Your dad, you're a cut above. So those are the toolboxes that I've made from that Stamps of Life toolbox die set. If you want to learn more, go to stampsoflife.com to search for any of the products that I've shown you today. There's the die set, Tools Dad dies, Terrific Tools stamp set. I know this one is still available, Stamps for Guys. I hope that you'll come back and see me the next time I have a crafty video up. I really enjoy sharing the products with you that I've been collecting over the years, and I can't wait to share a crafty video the next time I have something up for you. I'll see you the next time. Have a great day. Bye.